This past Friday night, the final boss, The Rock, returned to the WWE and delivered one of the weirdest promos that I've ever heard. The one line that still has everyone talking even several days later is that The Rock said that he wanted Cody Rhodes' soul, which has a lot of people asking, what the hell does that even mean? To me, it's pretty simple. He wants Cody Rhodes to sell out. He wants Cody Rhodes to become The Rock's corporate champion. Interestingly enough, similarly to how The Rock became the corporate champion all of those years ago for Vince McMahon. So in today's video, we're going to be proposing the question, who in the WWE will actually sell their soul to The Rock and become The Rock's champion? I've got a handful of different candidates and we're going to be talking about them and why I think they might be the ones to ultimately become your new people's champion. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, ring the bell for notifications. If you're a wrestling fan, I am confident that you're going to fall in love with his YouTube channel because we always upload daily wrestling content. If you're not willing to subscribe, at least give me your soul. By the way, if you want even more wrestling content, go check out the Patreon, patreon.com/SantiZap. Over there, you're going to get so much more extra content that we can never upload here. So go check it out, patreon.com/SantiZap. Link in the description, link in the pinned comment. Let's start the video. Let's start by talking about the most obvious option on the table, the one that kind of started this entire conversation in the first place, Cody Rhodes. Here's the thing, for all intents and purposes, Cody Rhodes is already the champion of the people. He is the most popular guy in the WWE. He's the guy that puts the most butts in seats at the moment, the biggest merch seller in the face of this entire generation of professional wrestling. And yet somehow the final boss still believes that Cody Rhodes can still ascend to yet another level to really get to full-blown god status, according to The Rock. What's interesting about Cody Rhodes as a face of the company is he's one of the few faces of the company thus far that has yet to have to struggle with the authority figure. Look back at the likes of Stone Cold, who had to fight against Vince McMahon, John Cena against People Power of John Laurinaitis, and Roman Reigns against the head of the authority, Triple H. Since coming back to the WWE, Cody Rhodes hasn't had that authority figure dancing partner, and he might have just finally found it with The Rock. I think the one cruddy thing about this relationship is that The Rock has already alluded to the fact that this might never actually become a match, that they might just have a thing that goes on for the next several years that never culminates with these guys trading blows. Now, in terms of Cody Rhodes selling his soul to The Rock, it's a bit of a tough pill to swallow. Let's not forget that The Rock tried to kill Cody Rhodes on live TV, coined the whole Mama Rhodes meme that took over the internet. There's no reason why Cody Rhodes should, at least in theory, want to sell his soul to The Rock. It's also tough to believe that the guy that's already climbed the mountain would sell his soul to begin with. I feel like the concept of selling your soul really belongs to somebody that's trying to reach a status that they've not been able to reach before, but Cody Rhodes pretty much already has. We have to basically believe that there's a level above Cody Rhodes, and The Rock pointed it out, that he is that level. The Cody Rhodes has a couple million Instagram followers, The Rock has 500 million. Cody Rhodes is the face of the WWE, meanwhile The Rock is the face of media in general. I believe that achieving those levels for anybody not named The Rock is basically impossible, so we have to disband disbelief a little bit to really get behind the concept of Cody Rhodes wanting to go a level above where he already is, which is already the top of the freaking food chain. But hey, we have seen the mask of Cody Rhodes slipping over the last couple of weeks. It's been slipping actually for the last couple of months, ever since he started feuding with the likes of Kevin Owens, who really made the crown feel the heaviest that it's ever felt before, where Cody Rhodes can't even have friends because those friends are willing to stab him in the back for the championship prize that he currently possesses. And the story of the fallen king, the Mad King, has been told numerous times throughout fiction, and it could be a really easy one to tell right here. We also had the moment where CM Punk kind of told Cody Rhodes that you aren't the same guy, that you are starting to let all of this get to you, and what better timing than right now when the mask is falling off, when we're getting the most vicious version of Cody Rhodes, when CM Punk pointed out that the crown is feeling a little bit too heavy for the evil final boss to put a hand around his face and his shoulder, offer an olive branch to make his life just a little bit easier and more successful. Long story short, I don't see it happening. I feel like the story here is that Cody Rhodes is going to reject the offer of the final boss and will have to go to war with whoever the final boss decides to make their corporate champion moving forward. So let's talk about another option. Perhaps maybe Roman Reigns can enter the equation. We obviously already have a long lot of history and a lot of legacy between Roman Reigns and The Rock, where The Rock could maybe want Roman Reigns to become his champion. The problem with this is that Roman Reigns was already his champion, and while he was his champion, he lost said championship. So why would The Rock want to make Roman Reigns, the guy that he made into his champion but lost, make him the champion again? But as we've seen before, The Rock believes that Roman Reigns is the guy to take WWE to the next echelon, which is why The Rock wanted to step in and take that match from Cody Rhodes to have this big match against Roman Reigns that would transcend time and space. Interestingly enough, this could have been an interesting tale to turn the big dog into the tribal chief, but this tale has already been told, and it was already told successfully. So to try and maybe dig into this bag of tricks again by making Roman heel one more time, I don't think is the right call. If anything, I could see Roman Reigns being one of the main antagonists to whoever The Rock chooses to be their champ. Let's not forget that we're still waiting for The Rock versus Roman Reigns. Like, that's still a match that we want somewhere down the line. So if we want to be able to tell that story, we can't very well have Roman Reigns be the one representing The Rock. We kind of need Roman Reigns to be the one opposing The Rock, or at least one of the people opposing The Rock and his potential new champion, whoever it is that decides to sell their soul. So long story short, I don't see Roman Reigns being the one that sells his soul. I wouldn't even be surprised if Roman Reigns isn't even like on the table at all whatsoever to be one of the ones that sells his soul to The Rock. Right now, the most popular candidate is CM Punk, if you can believe it. And CM Punk really offers a really interesting and unique narrative where it makes him, quite frankly, the perfect option for The Rock. One of the reasons why he's such a great option is because CM Punk hates The Rock. Why would CM Punk ever want to align with The Rock? Why would The Rock ever want to align himself with CM Punk? The Rock has been stealing CM Punk's limelight for as long as anybody can remember. It's just a partnership that no one would ever really expect or see coming. And see, I would maybe agree with this sentiment that CM Punk shouldn't even be considered because of how anti-authority he is, how much he hates The Rock. However, we are also in 2025, where we live in an era where CM Punk isn't here to make friends, he is here to make money. Let's not forget that infamous line from a couple of years ago that's still lingering in the back of many people's minds. And what better way to not make friends and instead make money than by becoming the people's champion, than becoming The Rock's champion, becoming the corporate stooge that can now headline WrestleManias, much like he very much desires. He can now be the star of movies. He can now be the one with billions of followers and all the money because he is here to make money and not friends. So I love this choice. If not Cody Rhodes, I think it would be super cool if CM Punk comes out of the shadows and aligns himself with The Rock, maybe at a match at WrestleMania, should CM Punk be the one to win the Elimination Chamber. And I know that this might go against a lot of what CM Punk has really stood for in his career in the WWE, which is a theme changer. He is a guy that changes the way that the game is played. He is an anti-authority figure that doesn't necessarily play by the rules in character and in real life. So to really try and wrap your head around somebody that is an anti-authority figure working with the authority, it can be kind of difficult. However, there's a blueprint that already exists. That's the WrestleMania 17 blueprint, where Stone Cold Steve Austin sold his soul to the devil, Vince McMahon, turned heel, won the championship, and broke the hearts of millions of people. Maybe this right here is a moment that has traumatized The Rock and is a major moment in The Rock's history that made him into what he is today, because it was Stone Cold Steve Austin that turned heel on The Rock and aligned himself with Vince McMahon. So it'd be a pretty poetic full circle moment for somebody that's so anti-authority like Stone Cold was in CM Punk to align himself with the authority who screwed over The Rock all of those years ago. But in this new scenario, it's The Rock that's the authority figure. Holy shit. Plus, if there is anybody that would just look gross and wrong cutting promos in a corporate suit, it's CM Punk. I really believe that if anybody should be selling their soul, it's CM Punk here. Plus, CM Punk is the guy that out of all of these guys that I have here, he's the best heel. He is an unbelievably good heel that we've yet to see in the WWE since he returned in 2023. So even though I have a couple of other options here, CM Punk is far and away my favorite choice here. I think he's the best option to be the one to win the Elimination Chamber, have a babyface versus babyface match at WrestleMania against Cody Rhodes, only for a WrestleMania 17 repeat to happen and for CM Punk to align himself with the Authority, with the final boss, and sell his soul. I love it. I actually hope this is what ends up happening. That would be so sick. Bro, come on. Oh, what the hell? Yeah, come on, Santino. That was a sneak peek of this week's Wrestling is Cool Match Club, available exclusively on patreon.com/SantiZap. This week, we're looking at Rusev versus John Cena at WrestleMania 31, where he comes out in a freaking tank. CM Punk versus Ricky Starks on an episode of AEW Collision in 2023. The NXT Black and Gold Classic between Aleister Black and Andrade at NXT TakeOver New Orleans. Motor City Machine Guns versus Kevin Steen and El Generico on Ring of Honor. And the 2012 Elimination Chamber match, the one that Santino almost freaking won. You'll be getting this and more, like the Raw reviews, SmackDown reviews, the Wrestling is Cool podcast 3 days earlier than everywhere else, the currently ongoing Undertaker WrestleMania match watch along, the currently ongoing Royal Rumble match watch along, and so much more content that never appears here on YouTube because it would just get blocked here on YouTube. So go check it out, patreon.com/SantiZap. The link will be in the description or in the pinned comment. I'm confident that if you even give it just one shot, 1 month, that you're going to fall in love with it. There is so much content, hundreds of hours of content already available for you. So go check it out. If you're already a patron, thank you so much for your support. Now let's get you back into the video. I think the next odds-on favorite to sell his soul to The Rock is John Cena. John Cena selling his soul out for anything just seems so far-fetched, so out of left field, so out of character that it might just be the perfect thing to do with him. Here's the thing, we've seen babyface John Cena for a lifetime at this point. John Cena has been babyface since 2005. We are now on 20 years of John Cena refusing to acknowledge and embrace the hate. And now that we're in his last run, a lot of Cena fans like myself and just fans of wrestling around the world would love to maybe see a tiny little bit of a heel turn from the guy that's refused to turn heel over the past 20 years. It would be a hell of a memorable moment during his retirement tour. And there's a lot of history, of course, to go off of between John Cena and The Rock. Let's not forget their legendary feud going into WrestleMania 28 and WrestleMania 29 that went from once in a lifetime to twice in a lifetime, and then facing off again at WrestleMania 40 where The Rock rock bottom John Cena, to maybe now a world where John Cena and The Rock are business partners. And look, if there is anybody that is on the trajectory to literally follow step by step what The Rock has done, it is John Cena, becoming a part-timer in the WWE after years of being the face and breaking out into Hollywood, becoming one of the faces of action movies within Hollywood. And maybe The Rock can offer that olive branch and storyline and basically say, you can become the next me of Hollywood, the next face of entertainment, if you align yourself with me and become my champ and sell your soul. And one of the things in just media in general, when it comes to the concept of storylines where somebody, a hero, has sold their soul, it usually comes off the back of a tragedy. And we've been talking about Cody Rhodes kind of going through his own tragic moments, why it's making him such a vulnerable victim for the final boss. John Cena's kind of going through his own crisis right now, his crisis of identity as the champ, as he can't quite get to that 17, as he can't quite get even so much as an opportunity to get the 17th. But aligning himself with The Rock, with the final boss, will ensure that not only will Cena be the next champion, but that John Cena will cement his legacy for generations to come. And that is something that might be worth selling your soul over. And I know that we've seen John Cena all the time in suits outside of the WWE, but what a weird moment it would be for John Cena to put the jorts and colorful t-shirts aside to start coming out there towards the final run of his career in a suit and cutting heel promos. I love it. This is my second favorite option after CM Punk. Another option to maybe consider here is Seth Rollins, and this one's kind of less deep. This is just a guy that is willing to sell his soul. We've seen it before. This is a man that sold out his brothers. He sold his soul soul and his brothers just for a chance at glory. Glory that came off the back of selling his soul to the Authority, something that he's already done before and something that he may very well do again here with the final boss, The Rock. On top of that, Seth Rollins is one of those people that still has a ton of unfinished business with Cody Rhodes. He is 0-3 against Cody Rhodes. Maybe Seth Rollins sells his soul to the final boss to finally be able to overcome Cody Rhodes, dethrone Cody Rhodes as champion, and become your new corporate champion, much like he was all of those years ago when he sold his soul the first time to Triple H. Some might say that Seth Rollins might not be the first choice. He might not be plan A, but he could very well be plan B. Another one that might be worth talking about, but this is definitely the biggest stretch of them all, is Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre selling his soul to the final boss seems unreasonable, seems unfathomable. Not because Drew McIntyre doesn't want riches and glory, but because Drew McIntyre, out of everyone on this list, probably hates the Bloodline the most. This guy has been fighting with the Bloodline for the better part of half a decade at this point and hates every single member of the Bloodline unequivocally, probably including The Rock. But let's not forget that The Rock is basically looking for his chosen one. And if anyone knows a thing or two about being the chosen one, it is indeed Drew McIntyre, who was the chosen one of a previous WWE dictator, Vince McMahon. Now, if The Rock can actually flesh out a beautiful roadmap for Drew McIntyre that shows him that he's gonna get fame, riches, become the top guy in the company, become the face of the WWE, ascend to championship hood that's not been seen since the likes of maybe Prime Cena or Stone Cold Steve Austin, that might be an inciting little moment for Drew McIntyre to maybe finally align himself with the Bloodline, which would be poetic because, like I said, this guy has been fighting the Bloodline for as long as some of you maybe have been born, it seems. All right, folks, we will leave it there. Of course, there's other options as well, like Tozawa. If Tozawa were to sell his soul to the final boss, it's over, because if Tozawa is only using like 3% of his strength and then The Rock comes over here and untaps the rest, and now we have 100% Ultra Instinct Tozawa running around, everyone's fucked. All right, that's it. I'm done. Get out of here.